Good afternoon, dear children. Hope you are all keeping well and are ready to start a new lesson in English Bal Bharati. Lesson number 13, Sultan Ghiyasuddin in the Qazi's court. Hundreds of years ago, in the eastern province of Bengal, Sultan Ghiyasuddin Azam Shah ruled the land. His capital was Sonargaon. He ruled wisely and well. He respected men of learning. He had a deep regard for law. The meaning of men of learning means well-educated men or knowledgeable men. And regard for law means care or consideration for. One day, while the Sultan was practicing with his bow and arrow, he accidentally wounded the only son of a poor widow. The wounded boy did not survive. The meaning of accidentally means by mistake. Did not survive means did not live for a long time after his accident or after the arrow shot him. Weeping and wailing, the poor widow went to the Qazi and told him what happened. The Qazi was an honest and upright man. The meaning of weeping means crying, and wailing is crying loudly. Upright man means honest, just man. He sent an officer to summon the Sultan to his court. When the officer reached the palace, the guards stopped him and inquired about his business. When they learned that he had come to serve a summons to the Sultan, they were shocked. They refused to let him go inside the palace. Summons means an order to be called for. Then inquired is to ask. Shocked. They were really shocked. They didn't know what to do. The officer was now in a fix. The guard did not allow him to enter the palace. But he knew that he could not return without serving the summons. The Qazi would not take him back. He had to find a way of reaching the Sultan somehow. What could he do? He thought and thought. In a fix means in an awkward position, in an awkward situation. Serving means giving. At last, he began to sound the azan, the call for the prayer, loudly, just outside the palace. It was not yet time for the prayer. When the Sultan heard the loud, ultimately call, he was greatly surprised. He ordered that a man giving the call should be brought before him immediately. His soldiers rushed out of the palace gates, caught the officer and took him to the Sultan within moments. When the officer knelt before the Sultan, he was trembling with fear. But he mustered all his courage and explained why he had given the call for azan. Within moments means very quickly. Mustered means gathered. He mustered all courage, meaning gathered courage. Then with shaking hands, he gave the summons to the Sultan. Sultan Ghiyasuddin took it without making any comments. He read the summons and told the officer to go back to the Qazi. He announced that he would appear in the Qazi's court the next day. The next morning, the Sultan got ready to appear before the Qazi. He hid a sharp sword in his robe and set out. The courtroom was packed with people. Everyone was eager to see what happened. The Qazi entered and took his place on the high seat of honor. In a little while, Sultan Ghiyasuddin entered the court. Everyone stood up to show respect to the Sultan, but the Qazi did not get up. The Sultan stood in the dock and the trial began. Here the meaning of dock is an enclosed space in a courtroom of law for the accused person to stand. The widow presented her complaint. The Qazi took note of all the evidence and in a grave voice addressed the Sultan. You are guilty of causing the death of the only son of a poor widow. Accordingly to the law, you must pay a fine for this offense. I order you to do that without delay. Evidence. The meaning is an information given in the court to prove something. Grave means serious. Offense is a crime or a wrong deed done. And without delay means without wasting time. The Sultan accepted the judgment and apologized to the widow. He arranged to pay the fine immediately. The widow felt satisfied that the offense was brought home to the offender. The meaning of offender is a person who has done something wrong or illegal. The meaning of the offense was brought home to the offender means one who had done something wrong was proved guilty and punished. When the case was over, the Qazi got up from his high seat of honor. Respectfully, he bowed to the Sultan and requested him to take his seat. The Sultan then drew the hidden sword from his robes and told the Qazi, I am happy that you did not waver in your duty. You did not hesitate to punish me. Otherwise, I would have beheaded you with this sword. Qazi then put his hand under the cushion where the Sultan was seated and brought out a whip. He said, Your Majesty, I am happy because you obeyed the law. Otherwise, I would have whipped you in this court. The meaning of waver is to falter or to hesitate or become unsure. Now, the whip means a cane with a rope tied to the end of it. Sultan then got up and embraced the Qazi. Thank God we both did our duty, he said. Everyone present in the courtroom praised the two great men. The meaning of embrace is to hug each other. And duty is did their work correctly to the T. Children, this lesson is only for reading. But to make you understand the lesson, I am giving you some meanings and a little bit of an exercise like complete the following. Meanings. Men of learning means well-educated men or knowledgeable. Regards for, care or consideration for. Survive, to continue to live after a dangerous experience. Wailing, crying. Summons, to order someone to come. Mustered is gathered. Docks, an enclosed space in a court of law. Waver means falter or hesitate or to be unsure. Complete the following. The Sultan was a good ruler. The Qazi was an honest and upright man. The guard refused to let the officer to go inside the palace. The officer could not return without serving the summons. Children, I hope you've understood the lesson. Now sit back and read the lesson. The next time I will give you meanings and the question answers of this lesson. Thank you. Stay safe, stay home. God bless.